Hey, Internets! It's Paul, it's Matt, the Dork Lords. We are here talking about Castle Rock, episodes 3 and 4, Local Color, and The Box. So, we begin episode 3 with, we see kind of a shocking scene. Actually, we bookend with two shocking scenes.
Yeah.
First shocking scene, Molly, our local psychic.
Yes.
As a girl, looks like from what you see there, what you see is what you get. She kills Pastor Deaver,
Yes.
Henry's dad.
Yes.
Takes the breathing apparatus out, lets him choke to death, suffocates him in his bed.
Yep.
Like, whoa.
Yep.
All right, so there's that. Then you go to the end of episode 4, which is... dude, I called this so good. But anyway.
Yeah. If you go back and look at the tape, I looked away.
You totally stone-faced it.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, we'll get to that. But yes, I predict. So prison guard Zalewski goes nuts, shoots everybody, well, not everybody, shoots guards, the prison guards.
Yes.
And then gets shot himself.
Yes.
And that's the end. So, yeah, I think the one thing I didn't realize is how quickly my prediction would come true. I thought
pace
it might be
yourself,
more of like
Matt.
an end of the season thing.
Come on.
But my prediction for who's my one dude who is guaranteed to die this season? I was like, prison guard Zalewski. Sure enough, it took him 2 episodes basically when I did that.
You should be living in Castle Rock. You'd be like, oh, watch out for that guy. Oh,
I'm the local psychic. It'd be like Molly walk up, I'd be like, yeah. I get it.
It's like, oh, you're going to kill him? Okay, I'm going to go down the street and kill the other guy.
So not only did I say that, but I didn't realize this was the case, but I mentioned that when I remembered the actor who plays Zalewski played this psychotic kind of noob cop in Law and Order SVU, and he ends up killing a bunch of serial spree, kills a bunch of law enforcement people, and then gets killed attempting to kill the stars of the show, basically.
Yeah, so if you ever see him in a Disney movie, you know this is going to be a very different Disney movie.
So it's interesting because we talk about Easter eggs. I'm not good at apparently finding these Stephen King Easter eggs, but that's a Law and Order SVU Easter egg. Maybe it's the same guy. Maybe I should look back and see if the guy's name was Zalewski on Law and Order SVU. That was his early job.
You should do it.
I don't know. Anyway, he died twice, so never mind. But anyway, yeah, he went nuts and killed a bunch of people. So yeah, in a way, you can say that episode 3 is a Molly episode.
You could.
And episode 4 is kind of a Henry / Zalewski episode, maybe. Yeah, Henry's going back to try to figure out what happened. He gets a big revelation. At least we're not sure if it's true, but he believes that it's possible to be true. Which is, on his dad's deathbed, his dad wrote, "Henry did it."
Oh yeah.
To Alan Pangborn, and so that's a big, huge thing because until that moment, there's a cool moment where Henry, you can tell, is having thoughts that maybe Alan Pangborn bumped off his dad because he finds out that Alan Pangborn was having an affair with his mom and was having it back in the day as well. And so he's kind of thinking like, well, he was out in the woods. He had no reason to really be there. My dad ends up getting pushed off a cliff. What were you doing in the woods kind of thing? And so what we learn, at least what we're told, is Alan Pangborn says, yeah, the reason I was kind of being a bad cop and covering stuff over was because your dad told me you did it, and so I was trying to cover your ass, basically, because your mom means a lot to me, and I knew that having you go to jail would be bad, so I was basically covering for you.
I was being a good dad.
I was being a good marital affair guy.
Yes, good.
Frequent flyer, as he put it.
That's right.
So Henry suddenly gets this realization, or you may have, this time you don't remember, you may have actually killed your dad, and at least your dad thought you did, and it makes him want to leave town. Like, he's so distraught. He's like, all right, forget everything. Okay.
Yeah.
Which also leads to Zalewski going nuts in a way.
Yep.
I think that was just a ticking time bomb waiting to go off. But
Yep.
the inciting incident is Henry calling Zalewski, leaving a message saying, "Hey, we're just going to take this settlement offer," which we'll talk about here in a second. But we'll take the settlement. I'm going to go back. I'm going back to Houston. Just no need to testify. We're done. And Zalewski, we've seen through episode 4. I know we're kind of jumping around here, but Zalewski basically gets obsessed with the idea of stopping the corruption in the prison and the brutality and basically because he wants to testify.
Right.
He goes and he talks to the kid who's still in jail at this point, and it's like, hey, we're gonna get you out of here. And they do a little fist bump. The fist bump was interesting because it's like they try to. I think that's a misdirect, but they try to make it seem like. I agree. Oh, I just transferred craziness into you. Because he immediately goes back and starts drawing smiley faces on the cameras. He's trying to hey, look, if I put a smiley face in front of the brutality, it's not brutality anymore. I think he tries to make himself feel better. That's my guess. Is that he's trying to brighten up.
Because you shouldn't psychoanalyze anybody unless you've actually had some sessions with them. So,
okay,
that was very.
I watched him on Law and Order SVU. So.
Oh, okay. Long experience with this patient. Okay.
So apparently that doesn't work for long. Although I also noticed.
2 serial killers, and you skip time.
When the next day when he does the killing spree, he first goes back to the camera area, and he's got that same. There's the woman that he always is like, I'm taking your shift.
What was the last thing she said to him? Oh, it doesn't matter.
Okay, but I noticed that the smiley faces weren't on the cameras anymore.
Oh,
I'm like, somebody had to notice that, right?
Well, maybe she's like, oh, this guy.
He's drawing smiley faces in permanent marker, I think, on the cameras. That's not cool. Anyway, but somebody cleaned it up and we're like, he's fine.
Or maybe it was like, when he saw that stuff, maybe he really didn't do it. Maybe it was like when he saw those people getting killed and stuff. Maybe it was.
That's true because now
in his head.
What are we, Legion? We back to Legion?
In his head. Okay. This way, it's all in his head.
It's all in his head. So he was all in his head back in episode 2, I think.
Yeah.
Where the implication is that the kid, because we see a shot where the kid basically controls a mouse to go run into a mouse trap, and I think Zalewski is our mouse.
See, he could have. Look, that could have been his profession out in the real world.
Mouse catcher.
Yeah. Exterminator.
Oh, you mean the kid? Yeah.
Move termites. Move.
He could have. Maybe this is actually a long con Pied Piper of Hamelin story.
There you go.
He's going to lure all the kids into the water at the end. That would be dark. So we get the implication that the kid has influenced Zalewski to see these people being killed off and stuff on these screens, because when he pushes the panic button and runs out, nothing has happened.
Right.
But then now it's a self-fulfilling prophecy because it actually happens.
There you go.
So is he seeing the future? Is that what's happening in that moment? I mean, we don't know. I mean, you've seen more episodes than I have, but
he's dead now.
Well, sure. They didn't have a. I wonder what he was seeing in that. Let's break it down. They didn't do. Okay.
I mean, to me, it's just it's not much different, and you can I guess debate whether or not it's really Stephen King but. We've seen movies and it's where it's like, oh, I imagined this thing and it's no, it didn't really happen.
Right.
That happens all the time.
Yeah. Or I'm trying to avoid this thing and then it ends up happening because you tried to avoid it also.
Yeah.
Trying to avoid your destiny. So Zalewski dead, along with a lot of other people. They also we have a bit where Henry goes to the library to check out the history of the prison and specifically Warden Lacey.
Yes.
But I kind of stopped on some of those print images. I was reading they bothered to write entire articles about the guy.
Yeah.
And the only thing I was kind of interesting, they mentioned, I could see Pastor Deaver's name mentioned at one point. and they mentioned the problems that the prison had had at other times. They mentioned like a fire on Christmas that like killed a whole bunch of people. Maybe that's a Easter egg for a Stephen King, but I'm not
fire
familiar with what that
starter,
is, but
maybe.
All right, but it was in the prison. I don't know if they were ever in Shawshank. Whatever. But yes, there was a big fire. Horrible things happened at this prison.
Yes.
Horrible things.
Horrible.
4 different wardens have died.
Yep.
Now a whole bunch of people have just been shot to death as well. But also it showed that the last quote on this article about Lacey was like, I'm happy to, he's just taking the job. It's like, I'm happy to be here. I'm going to do the Lord's work. We're going to clean up that prison. And okay. So
Did it say Lord's work?
it said Lord's work, I believe.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's like,
Famous jailer.
it's like they're throwing in
Jesus Christ.
because he has that, remember that quote where he keeps stopping on the quote of the day where it's like, and the jailer washed the prisoner's feet and he was saved.
Okay.
So anyway, you just get this, that guy was a religious nut, perhaps.
Yes.
So, and he, you could say Zalewski was a nut.
You could say that. You could. You
Bad
could.
things.
You could say
It
that.
didn't seem like he was a nut at first.
No, well.
But he got nutty pretty quick.
Yeah.
Also, that bit where, he's so obsessed with the case. Because even after he shoots everybody,
Yes.
and before he gets killed himself, he
Yes.
says, I want to testify. You just killed off an entire prison full of people.
We'll talk to you.
Yeah, great. Let's get you on the stand. I'm sure you'll be very credible. Because, Henry Devers happens to be in the jail at the time, so he witnesses
Yes.
this guy get killed.
Yes.
But before that, while we're seeing his Zalewski's obsession, he goes around town trying to find Henry Deaver. Henry Deaver even says, "How did you find me?"
Yes.
Oh, I just narrowed it down, kept looking, and there you are in this bar. But he hunts him down to show him a drawing he made of the jail cell the cage that the kid was kept in.
Yes.
It's a drawing. He's like, in this evidence? It's like, not really. It's not really anything. It's a drawing you made on a notepad. Anyway, which is funny because he's becoming unhinged.
He is.
And he unhinges
Off
himself.
his hinge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know we just spent a lot of time talking about Zalewski, but that was I think the primary focus.
That's his true fandom.
That's right, Zalewski. Why isn't the show called Zalewski? Before we go back and talk about Molly, let's just finish off maybe episode 4, which the other part of that was Henry kind of delving into his past.
Yes.
And he kind of goes what I think that is down a wrong trail, but maybe he can learn something in the meantime. I know when he's looking at the old articles and he sees the stuff about his disappearance and he sees something like police question local resident Desjardins who denies wrongdoing. So he's like, who's this guy? And he asks his mom about it, and she's like, oh yeah, old Desjardins, that guy, whatever. So anyway, he decides to go out. The guy lives outside of town. He goes to the house. He's thinking maybe he was held here. He has some memories of being, we have this thing about, hey, it's a cold, freezing night.
Yes.
You must have been held somewhere indoors.
Yes.
So he's thinking, maybe I was. Maybe I was held at the Desjardins house. So he goes. No one's home at first. He kind of goes around back. There's this really creepy box. The box! The episode is called The Box. I would say the episode is called The Box for a couple reasons. One, I'm just talking about the Desjardins box.
Box.
2, a lot of it revolves around moving Pastor Deaver's coffin.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's the box.
So that's a box. Yeah. And then maybe 3, the box that the kid's in, the prison cell, and the fact that it ends with the prison shooting and stuff. You could maybe kind of go with the idea of he drew a box, he drew the cell.
Right.
That's a hand.
When the guy came in, he was ready to box.
He was ready to box. It was on Boxing Day. No. Okay, so there's this box, and it's got this food dish on them, and it doesn't seem like dog food. It seems more like, I think it was a spoon in it. I don't know. It was like, but there's nobody there. It's just an old, thing. One thing a thing I didn't appreciate was the piano falling through the second floor. I mean, everything is so water stained at the Desjardins place that the piano came through the ceiling. That's pretty good, and they just left it. Something I did not know but looked up, and so is an Easter egg that I looked up, was Vince Desjardins was in the gang, Ace's gang in Stand By Me. So he's one of Kiefer Sutherland's gang members. He actually did not live in this house. It's his brother, who is the guy who's the creepy guy that shows up and tries to give Henry a haircut.
Well,
I'm like, is this a
is
that a legit business?
Right.
Who walks past the fallen piano in the middle of nowhere to go get their haircut? But Stranger Things, I guess. Stranger Things. Wait, what show are we talking about? In fact, I used to. I lived out in Fortson, Georgia, back in the day. My parents still live out there. It's rural Georgia, less rural now. Anyway, Mom would take me to weekly piano lessons.
Yeah, and a haircut.
No, it wasn't a haircut. But this was old Miss Rogers.
Oh,
Miss Rogers lived in an old plantation house, completely overgrown.
Okay.
It's $1 a lesson. My mom would drop me off, and I'd be like, all right, I'm going to walk in now. And I'd walk in, and Mrs. Rogers would meet me, and we couldn't go. There were certain huge parts of wings of the house we couldn't go to. And it was all dark, and we'd go through this big drawing, and we'd pull the doors apart, the sliding doors, and we'd walk into this huge living room, drawing room area, and there was a piano at the far wall next to a fireplace.
Yeah.
It was creepy as hell. She was a nice old lady, but I was like, man, I don't know. I think back on it, I'm like, my mom was like really trusting. Like, it's only $1.
I'm glad you didn't besmirch the name of Mrs. Rogers.
Yes. Well, I mean, also the idea of like, how would you make a living in the middle of nowhere at $1 a piano lesson? It's the same idea with this guy, Desjardins, with like middle of nowhere haircuts. Like, all right, but both survived, Miss Rogers and Mr. Desjardins. So, yeah, the thing we learn is that Desjardins has the police file. He was pissed off because the papers were accusing him, and so he wanted to prove that he didn't do it. Right. So he got all this information about the case.
Right.
And I legit believe that he's not involved, although he is creepy. And when he says, "I didn't touch you," it's like, oh, wait, was that a question? Yeah. Anyway, so that's kind of a large creepy section of that of that episode. Creepy. Also, we know when Henry decides to move to Houston.
Yes.
Go back to Houston. He's
take
like,
mom with him.
Take my mom with me.
Yeah.
I mean, you could see that coming a mile away. Yeah. I'm not leaving. So
this is as much work as I've gotten in a long time.
That's an impasse. They do successfully move the dad back. I guess I don't know where they move him to. Must be a new graveyard.
Sure.
The old one was paved over, but they move him to a graveyard.
Yeah.
Did we get anything out of that? Was there any?
Well, there were people watching him.
Okay. Oh, you're looking at me like in later episodes.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Never mind.
There are people watching him.
Okay, so that's a good version of episode 4. Let's go back to episode 3. Molly. Molly kills the dad.
Yes, she does kill her.
And we also get a flashback because I'll believe this is true. I mean, we're led to believe that she could see through Henry's eyes and like hear his dad talking, like in the woods.
Yes,
like
in the woods.
She could experience what he was experiencing.
Yes.
When she's breathing out and she's got the cold air,
sure.
It's like she's in the frozen area with him. Mm. Which also makes me think, in the episode before that, when the sheriff shows up, he's like, "Do you know what happened?" And she's hiding her breath.
Yes,
she's like, "No, I didn't."
Right.
And then she's got cold breath. That means she's still living through Henry's eyes, and Henry is in the cold.
Oh, interesting.
Because that's after the death happened.
Sure.
So, anyway. So she was like with him for the whole 11 days, I think.
Interesting.
So we get the idea that the pastor wasn't such a nice guy. And you're laughing because maybe there's more to that later. But, okay. But, like, for instance, we see a shot of young Henry burning a videotape. And he's like, F you, pastor, dad, or something like that. Or you suck. I forgot what he said. Basically, I hate you, dad. Burn videotape. Also, the dad takes him out in the middle of the woods, and he says this line, "Do you hear it now?" or something like that. Like, it's Verizon. Okay. The cell reception's horrible out here. Which is then later echoed by the kid when Henry finally talks to the kid. He's like, "Do you hear it now?"
Right. Yes.
I can't. Is that the exact line? It's something like that. I'm probably saying it wrong. I'm laughing because I'm thinking it's the Verizon line. It's probably not Verizon line. So the fact that Molly killed the dad means by looking through Henry's eyes, she saw that this guy was being horrible to the kid, and to protect Henry, who she's kind of obsessed about, she killed the dad. That's kind of what I'm getting out of it. Now, it also could be that she was possessed, or her body was, Henry was in her, it was Henry's brain in her body. If she was in Henry's mind, you know what I mean? Like maybe they switched. I'm just throwing out their possibilities.
Stoneface.
Okay. So by episode 8.
Well, I've seen more episodes.
Sure. But I mean, in other words, this comes up. Okay. I assume it would, but it's already come up. It's not like a episode 10 thing. It's like an episode 7 thing or something.
What?
That they kind of describe the motivations.
Of the neighbor?
Of Molly, yeah.
Molly talks about it more.
Okay. All right, we'll just leave it at that.
Yes. She actually talks about it, because she hasn't actually said anything.
Now, they also, I could be wrong, because
they
do this, they kind of like gloss over it, but they have sex, yeah? Like, he comes over, she lets him into the house, and then it cuts to the next morning, and he's laying in her bed. It seemed like they had sex. I could be wrong, because it was so fast. I was like, wait, did that... Are you implying... Because I didn't really get the idea that they were having a romantic relationship at all, and then he just kind of walks over and it's like, anyway, I should probably leave town. She's like, come on in. Cut to next morning and he's in the bed. I mean, I was pretty... I think that's... Anyway, that's what I got out of it, but... in the comments, let me know. I thought... I was like, oh, I didn't see that's where that was going. I'll put it that way. Like, she was obsessed with him, but I didn't see him being necessarily, interested in her. But anyway, he was at an emotionally distraught moment.
That's true.
Needed companionship.
I'll have to watch that again. Okay. I don't think
I mean, maybe he just came in and she was like, "Yeah, you just take the cot."
I think that's what happened.
But it's like she didn't. There was not that line didn't come up. I'll put it that way. And you take the cot, and I'll be over here. But okay, so she walks into the house. She's again in PJs in the freezing cold and doesn't seem to bother her. That's kind of an interesting parallel to Henry being out in the cold apparently and not being bothered. So it's something odd there. Yeah. And then she just quietly stands over the pastor, unplugs him. He wakes up, sees it's her. Is like, he could help me, man. If he could make any sound at all, he'd wake up the wife, but he doesn't.
No.
And we also see a flashback to, or I don't know if it's a flashback or it's just she just has a image. She has an image of like seeing him and or it's like in a cult scenario kind of thing. He's like Revelations or something like that.
I forgot about those flashes.
And I don't think this is actually the case, but I'll throw it out there as a possible theory. The "Do you hear it now?" could be a reference to the passage he was like, because he says something like, "And in the end times there will be trumpets, and the trumpet will play, and the trumpet will raise the dead, and we will all be changed." And so maybe they're talking about hearing the trumpet, perhaps. And like maybe Henry in particular is some kind of they see him as like a chosen one or somebody that's going to lead this end times or something like that, or a rapture kind of situation.
Hearing stuff does come up more.
Okay. All right. Good. So there's that. I'm forgetting. Oh yeah, it was a weird scene. Maybe unnecessarily weird. Like one of those like, where is this going? She's having so many voices now that Henry's back. She tries to go get her drugs. She's out of drugs.
Yes.
Her drug dealer's like, don't have any drugs. He's like, you go down to the motor lodge and go get drugs there. She drives down to this motor lodge. There's no adults around.
No, that was the weird part. Yeah, okay, I see. Yeah.
And the kids are holding court with animal masks on. She sits down. Not only that, but then in the middle of this trial, they're like, "Who killed the dog?" They're like, "You did." Like, in other words, you killed Pastor Deaver. And she's like, "What the hell's going on?" And then, so I'm thinking this is all like a dream, but then it never manifests into dream. It's like the guy takes the mask off. He's a kid. And he's like, "Hey, I'll give you drugs if you show me your boobies."
Yes,
she's like, "No." And then the cop car shows up and she gets arrested and taken to jail. And she's actually in jail later because Henry comes and finds out she's in jail and gets her out. So that all happened.
But
I'm like, that is just
she talked to that person though, because he was like, "Don't pay attention to them."
Wait, she talked to what person? Sorry.
When she went with the kids, and then she was like freaking out, and then the guy came along like, blah, 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 blah. "Let's go over here."
Oh.
Because she was left the boobies or whatever, and then she like went to the other room.
Oh, okay. I just remember the cop car shows up.
Well, maybe that was a different one.
Okay. I'm just saying it was okay, you've seen more episodes. Is that ever explained, or they just leave that as an intentionally
I don't remember
vague,
seeing that explained.
Kids with animal masks holding court? I mean, the explanation was,
I don't remember that being
our parents are all in Shawshank, and our dads are in Shawshank, and our mothers are drunk. Like, really?
No.
Every single one? Okay, that's either really convenient or this is all in your head. All right, anyway. So that was a weird, abstract moment. It just kind of came out of nowhere. You know what kind of... These two episodes started making me think of Twin Peaks a bit. You know, the idea of like bizarre town.
Yes.
Where a lot of weird things happen.
Yes.
With a lot of weird people.
Yes.
And sometimes the weirdness doesn't really go anywhere. It's
Sure.
like, oh, I have a log in my lap.
Maybe
I like cream corn.
Maybe next season.
And then, new shoes. And then and there's a demon maybe in town that's like controlling people's minds. So anyway, not to say it's a bad association. I enjoyed Twin Peaks until it got frustratingly vague, but I did like the show. So if it's trying to pattern itself after Twin Peaks, so be it. I'm good with that.
I don't think so.
You don't think it is?
No.
Okay. I feel like I could do an essay where a very dry, boring essay where I would show all the parallels to Twin Peaks. Okay, but anyway. All right. So, any other revelations we got out of these two episodes, sir?
It's been too long since I watched them.
Okay, damn it.
That's why I'm like, wait a minute. I know she talked to somebody about some drugs.
Another important thing, actually. Very important. She's trying to get her real estate thing going, so she's made this big down payment on this.
I was really rooting for her, actually.
On this.
Because it's like, wow, she really wants to make something out of this. So even though she's
got this diorama.
She got this diorama, and she wants to be on TV.
That took work. I don't know if she paid someone to do that or she did that herself, but like she's like carting this big diorama around. Tony Stark style. She's got the big this is the world of tomorrow. Castle Rock of Tomorrow. And so she gets on to the show Local Color, hence the title of the episode. Yeah. And they've got the very, cheesy host guy who I assume would come up later. I don't know if he I could see that guy being really dark actually. And he's like ting 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 ting. But he's like, hey everybody, welcome back. Hey, we're on
Look at that. He had a little success. Now everybody's a killer.
Yeah, everybody's Anyway, if the local cheesy guy goes dark, that's another. I get
another point for you. Yeah.
Okay. So she gets on the show. Doesn't have her drug. She's been off of her medication, if you want to call it that, for a while. She just got out of jail because Henry basically gets her out of jail just in time to get to the thing because he realizes it's important to her. Yeah. She's freezing up, being asked questions. She's like, I don't know. And she's hearing voices. And so she just kind of blurts out because she's been hearing in her mind Henry talking to the cops and stuff about
yeah,
what's
to be
happening.
distracted, like just because he still doesn't have her medication at that point. So good luck.
Yeah, go get the little kids with the animal masks. They got some aspirin. So she basically blurts out, "Yeah, there's a guy being trapped in the prison unlawfully, and there's holding him, and he's just there. And why is it? This is horrible." So she put a public announcement, which then leads to this settlement offer. The prison's like, "Let's just make this go away," and it's elevated this. And in fact, it means that Henry gets to meet the kid for the first time. Oh, I finally have a client. Wow, interesting.
Yeah, I didn't take you here so that you would, give me leverage over the prison, but thanks.
Yeah, right. Yeah, this worked out. So that's a huge moment, yeah, she's a very interesting character.
Yeah,
I like the acting.
Yeah, I like
Pretty
the
much universally.
I like the actress actually. You know, I mean,
Melanie Linsky.
Yes, who was on? No, I'm sorry, 2.5 Men.
2.5 Men. Okay, I thought she was on something else.
She was the one who was always like following him. So anytime Shark Guy.
I never watched 2.5.
Or like Tiger Guy.
3 Men and a Baby. Or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
It was John Cusack and not John Cusack.
Yeah, I got you. I'm aware of the show. I think I made a deliberate choice not to watch it. So I'm not going to necessarily put that.
Anyway,
in
so Charlie
really?
Sheen.
She was on that show?
She was following Charlie Sheen all the time. So she would always be like, and when the actor screwed up so much that they killed the character off, they pretty much implied that she killed him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So.
All right. Took a dark turn there. Maybe that's her character is coming over now to Castle Rock with it. Okay. But no, she does a great job. The actor playing Henry Deaver does a great job. It's a strong cast. You still got Sissy Spacek, doing good work as well.
Cryer. Said Cusack. I hate myself.
That's right. John Cryer and John Cusack are the same guy.
Well, John Cryer's upset about that.
Yeah. Okay. So crying. I just brought this around. That's the song that's playing when dude's bumping everybody off in the prison. Okay. Anyway, there we go. Episodes 3 and 4. We're gonna do 5 and 6. If we get on a roll, maybe we could try to do 5 and 6, and then 7 and 8, maybe in the same week, so that by the next week we could talk about the end of the show.
Wow!
Roughly within a week's of it coming out.
Anyway. Yeah, there was an episode last night, and I have not seen it yet.
Okay, that would be episode 9.
I think that was 9, right? So good luck.
Dun, dun, dun. I bet you, local hi there guy went and stabbed a bunch of people last night.
Hi there.
Exactly. He's insane clown. Okay, so if you have some comments, feel free to make them. If you saw some Easter eggs, feel free to put them in to our illuminate us.
Yes.
With Stephen King references.
There you go.
And we will be back. Thanks so much, everybody.
Thanks.
See ya. Bye.